Recording pending. And we are recording. Ladies and gentlemen, we are recording. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the most must-see fantasy football ramble, AVI NFL Ramblers, that films at 1:45 on Fridays for our office in my house and
Woo!
Tony's house there.
Yeah.
So,
It's great.
welcome everybody. How's everybody doing today? We got my co-host here as per usual, Mr. Tony S. Burgess.
That stands for set your freaking draft board. Seriously, do it. It's gonna be you're gonna have a miserable time if you don't. Um, and you don't want the computer to draft for you. And I
Yeah.
swear, if there is somebody in this league that has an auto drafts, doesn't set the draft board, lets that happen, and ends up like doing good, making the playoffs and winning the championship, you're not gonna make it in the league next year. You're just not. You're
Yeah, I'm
you're
gonna
disbanded.
hate you. So
This
so
trophy
very
will not be going to you.
no,
Just
no, not at all. I will hold it hostage.
Yep.
Yeah, and the hostage taker with the mostest. I am Mr. Garrett M. La Laguna. The M stands for meticulous, as in meticulously set your draft board, mother. Because seriously, I started doing that yesterday, and oh man, it's definitely a doozy, especially once you start getting
It'll take
past the
time.
top 50.
Yeah, it'll take
Like,
time.
yeah, it'll definitely take a little bit of your time. Definitely suggest doing it in some off time, not necessarily during work time, because we got to focus on the job at hand.
Something like that.
Yeah, that's what they say. So yeah, but set your draft boards, guys. But as of this point, big news. It does sound like we have a confirmed date from everybody in the group right now. It sounds like Monday, Labor Day, September 7th at 4:30 we will be getting together to talk about any sort of rule discussions or any just general league information that you guys want or need at that time,
Hmm.
any sort of discussions that need to happen at that time. And then after that, I plan on starting the draft at 5 o'clock. So here's the deal, because we are not doing an offline draft, it is going to be very strict and very just, we have to be ready to go. So I need everybody to be there, need everybody to be relatively on time. I could probably start it like at the time that we, choose maybe, but I might have to schedule it beforehand.
Yeah.
And I don't want everybody to be around all night long. So, be on time,
Yep.
be on time. That's all I
Yeah.
ask. So otherwise, you're going to draft at a really bad position, and I swear to God, you will take Ryan Tannehill in the first round.
And then he's gonna become MVP this year, and I'm gonna absolutely despise you. So,
Yeah, that's just my luck. The
yep.
person that does end up with Ryan Tannehill, he's going to be the best quarterback this year and just
Yep.
blow everybody away. It'll be just so painful. But yeah, today, this week, we are almost done because man, we're almost there. We are like 2.5 weeks
Yeah.
almost, like
It's
17 days away from the draft almost.
it's coming quick. It's coming
Yeah,
quick.
yeah,
It's exciting. Again, we talked about it before. It's the most wonderful time of the year. It
damn
really
right.
is. It really is. Even with COVID going
Yeah,
on, it still
yeah,
is a little sprinkle of hope
yeah. We'll
that,
still make it enjoyable and
yeah.
do plenty of crap talk the entire
Oh no,
draft.
I mean our entire roster of members this year, most of them are trash talkers, I think. So it's going to be really
Yeah.
fun. Mr. Daniel, Aaron,
I
Garrett,
just can't
Tony,
wait to see
Dave,
and hear all the
Laura.
trash talk that comes out of Laura's mouth.
Oh, she will.
I just
I
want
know
to,
she will.
because she seems so just sweet and nice, and she is just a
Yeah.
genuinely great person. But then I see her coming out and just, oh, Laura, you and I are playing each other this week, and her looking at me and just, yeah, I'm gonna beat your face in. I am
No,
going to
no.
beat you down mercilessly. I am going to make you less than that of a, I don't know, chipmunk.
No, she's a big sports fanatic, you know. She's knows more than probably I do or we do. And
Probably.
we do our daily sport bets every day. Like right now, it's a soccer match, 2-2 halftime, so I can focus now.
Hey, we're
Um,
talking about football here, not football.
but no, I mean, but yeah, but this is football.
Yeah, yeah, with an accent or a lisp.
But no, yeah, I could honestly, she I wouldn't be surprised if she makes the playoffs and kicks her ass this
Oh
year.
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Just like Dave.
Um,
Dave was so quiet. You know, he's not quiet, but I mean, like he's not like as out there.
he's not all big and
Out
loud and
there. Yeah,
flamboyant as some
yeah,
of us.
yeah. And then just all of a sudden last year, just drafting, and then going undefeated for how many weeks it was,
10 weeks.
and almost an entire freaking season, almost
Yeah.
went undefeated. Like that was the most dominating performance for fantasy football
Wait,
I've
wait,
ever.
wait, wait. Why did he? Why did that happen again?
Because he tricked me into a trade.
He tricked you. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. He tricked you.
And
We'll
guess
go
who
with
won
that.
in the end?
So, I mean,
Let's get
ultimately, though, doesn't matter because you got that.
Hmm.
So you gave up the number one quarterback and the number one running back
What did that end
at
up
league's
with?
end, and you still ended up with that. Kudos to you, sir.
I knew
See, it
that's
just goes to show you, man. It doesn't matter. It comes down to week by week, and you just got to hope that some weeks you get lucky, and some weeks the opponent doesn't.
yeah. No, it was a fun time last year, and can't wait to do it again this year with some
Yeah,
new people in
yeah.
the group.
Yeah, especially so throwing this out there to anybody that is listening or anything too. If you guys want to be a part of this, if you want to come on and generally just, talk crap with the
Ramble.
rest of us, ramble with us, you are more than welcome. Feel free. Hit me up. Let me know. I'm here for you.
I got
I'll bring you on and make fun of you to your face.
you.
But yeah, so we got that all taken care of. We got the draft kind of taken care of. We got all fees in for the league taken care of.
That's
I
good.
will say I am shame on all of you that made me eat the 61-cent fee.
Oh,
There was like 4 or 5 of you in the end that made me eat that. So shame.
shame, shame.
Yeah, besides that, if we let's see, we've covered the draft, we've covered
The
shamings,
send your draft board.
setting your draft board, doing all that stuff. And if anybody needs any help with that, hit me up, let me know, send me an IM. I can walk you through how to do that because this year it is not as easy and as transparent as it was last year on the computer. So yeah, you actually have to go to your team's page, even though you don't have a team, and then you can select edit your pre-draft rankings there. But set your draft board.
Yep, and you might have to do it from a computer browser. I'm not sure if you can do it from your phone, so just
Hey,
FYI. I
y'all
was
got a
looking
work
into that just
laptop,
now.
so
Yeah, no, I mean it's actually considering how long it probably will take to do your draft board. I mean, I guess it depends on how in depth you think you really want to go. For me, I want to go pretty far because just in
I'm
case
going at
something
least
happens,
150 people down.
just in case I'm not available, don't have internet, something happens, at least I can feel safe that at least I'm getting the players that I genuinely wanted to get. So I would prefer to do that on a computer as opposed to doing that on my phone for 5 hours or however long it takes. So
Yep.
that's me, but
Yep. And yeah, so do all that stuff. Any sort of rule changes, points changes, stuff like that that you guys want to talk about, hit me up, let me know. I do have a poll currently up on the fantasy football website about draft time. So how long are we wanting to go? Do we want to do it a minute per draft pick, minute and a half, 2 minutes? Right now, it sounds like, a couple of people are liking the 2 minutes. However, when you really look at the timing and everything, if everybody takes the absolute max amount of time on their draft picks,
mhm.
then we're looking at a 6-hour draft. I don't want to do that.
No.
I'm thinking about cutting it down to at the most a minute and a half. When I really start looking at it, Dave, that was a great suggestion. I think a minute and a half might be the way to go.
Yeah.
I don't
I
think
think so.
everybody's going to take the maximum amount of time,
No. And
especially since we're
yeah,
actually able to sit there and work off our own screen and coordinate our own stuff while
yeah.
other people are drafting.
That's what I'm saying. And that's the thing. I think everyone needs to have this as a team effort, right? I
Yeah,
know we're all against each other, but as just one group, like that's the thing. Like if you just drafted your guy, start looking for what your plan is for the next guy.
exactly.
So then the process can be fluid and can move on.
Yeah,
Um,
now that I don't have to be sticker bitch, I can, sit there and focus on my stuff and not have to
right,
sit there and just put up stickers for everybody. And then finally I get to look and think.
right, yeah,
And when you
exactly.
set your draft boards, you guys have a better idea of what's going on and who's available
Yeah.
and where you're looking at.
And it helps you also in terms of like if there's some uh hidden player that's way down in the charts and you really want to draft him, you put him high up on your draft board, then you won't miss him
Yeah,
once it comes time where you want to when you do eventually want to draft that person, because that's how it is for me a lot. There's a lot of hidden secret guys I always like to grab from the bottom of the barrel.
hmm
But those draft boards that NFL.com sets, it's just the top ranked people, and so you might not even see them at all in the top 100, even though you
yeah.
might want them, and you're gonna hate yourself when you see that. I see
For
Garrett or someone draft them in like the next
yeah,
round. Like son of a, I
for
forgot about
instance, putting it out there, Juju Smith-Schuster, the number one wide receiver for the Steelers. He is ranked 49th or projected to be 49th among wide receivers this year. Do you know how far that puts him down on a top 100, top 200 list?
it. Yeah,
As far as
exactly.
players go, you're not going to see his name until you're in like the hundreds or so, if not beyond that, because you have all those top quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers,
Exactly.
even kickers that are going to be ranked above him. So set your draft board, look for those hidden gems, and just try and be on top of things.
Yep.
But that's enough for that. This week is our second to last week of our league preview. This week, we're going to be covering the AFC North, a fairly weak division, I feel.
Yeah.
Obviously, one
Except one.
standout team at the
Yeah, one
top.
dominant team.
hmm
Very dominant.
Even though they
Super
have
Bowl
no wide
contending.
receivers, they
Eh,
got no. Although Des Bryant did just
they
leave
do have
there,
receiver.
he did just have a workout there.
They have receiver.
Marquise
They-
Brown.
yeah, buddy.
Yeah, but besides that, they got Devin Duvernay, who was
Yeah.
drafted with the 92nd overall draft pick, and then Willie Snead.
Yeah, no, it's not a very impressive group, but they don't really
Uh,
rely on the passing game.
no, they do not. So, but yeah, we're going to be talking about the AFC North, the Browns, the Bengals, the Steelers, the Ravens today.
This used to be the division of the all about defense. The black and blue division, I guess you would say. They beat each other up. The Ravens and Steelers for the longest time was the funnest game to watch every week because the scores would be like 7-3 final.
Yeah,
No, it
I
was
love those 11-10 final
love it,
scores.
love it. Those are the best games, I think, are the ones that are super defensive and just beating
Right.
each other up. No, and so yeah, it's not the same anymore. But
Yeah. They got a couple defenses that are projected to be really good in this division, and then two that are kind of projected to be mediocre in this division. So, there's definitely a lot to work with here. But we're going to get started right into this with the team that had the number one overall draft pick this year, the worst team in the league last year, hands down by far, the Cincinnati Bengals.
yeah, no, they are dreadful.
Yeah.
At the beginning of last year, we thought the Dolphins would be the dreadful team, and they were for a little while. But then they got some stuff together, and they got a couple wins, and they weren't the worst team. The Bengals ended up being so embarrassing. It was like watching a high school team or a JV high school team.
Yeah.
It was bad. So they need a lot, and they finally fired Marvin Lewis, I believe. Oh yeah, yeah, that was the first year of the new coach. So that's not really a good debut year, but
Nope.
whatever. I wasn't a fan of that. I forget his name, but I was never a fan of him from the beginning. Super young guy. Forget his name now. But yeah, the Bengals. They always had Andy Dalton. They were always the mediocre team. They were the traditional 8-8 team under Marvin Lewis. They would always sometimes or 9-7. They would barely make the playoffs. They would do a little bit, but they'll usually lose the first playoff game every year. Yeah. They were always in the middle of the pack. They never spent money on free agents. They never they did drafts decently well, but they never signed free agents. They just stayed mediocre, and they never wanted to be more than that. And eventually, they finally gave up on Marvin Lewis after so many years, and they tanked.
Yep.
Hardcore.
Now they have Zach Taylor as their head coach.
Zach Taylor. Yeah, that's a guy. He's super young, and I just wasn't. I was just kind of like meh about him. He didn't seem super. I don't know. From a football coach, I want him to be angry or mean, or like not necessarily angry at me, but at least be intimidating if you need to be.
Yeah. He was a quarterbacks coach for the Rams before this. I mean, I'm sorry, man. I tend to question people that don't have offensive or defensive coordinator experience. Mm-hmm. And it's like, okay, you were an offensive coordinator at the University of Cincinnati. That's okay, but you were only there for 1 year. That was it.
Yeah. So, and it's not like the Rams quarterback was freaking amazing. What's his name?
Jared Goff.
I don't like him. So, yeah, and
I want to say he was only with the Rams as their offensive coach or their quarterback coach for a year. In 2017, he was hired by the Rams. In 2018, he was promoted. All right, so he was there for 2 years, and now he's with Cincinnati, and he went 2-14 last year.
Yep, that's a good way to start out your head coaching career. But
yeah,
so yeah, they drafted as we talked about Joe Burrow. His name
is? Joe Burrow, number 1 overall draft pick. Yeah, they're really hoping he could be the quarterback of the future there.
Yeah, I mean he's the he went to LSU, won the NCAA championship. He's very, from the looks of it, cocky, which I mean you do kind of want a little bit of swag.
You want a little swag with your quarterback, yeah. You don't want him to look timid or anything, because then you get a David Carr.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what to think of him yet. I'm not getting a great impression, but I haven't seen him play yet, so I can't say. But I wouldn't draft him. But of course, they don't have anyone around him anyway, so I feel bad for him.
Yeah. Well, but yeah. No, they do kind of have people around him. I mean, Joe Mixon is a good running back.
Right, Joe Mixon is good. They're running back.
He's one of those top.
They still have AJ Green too. Actually, I think
they still have AJ Green. Yeah, they still have Giovanni Bernard, who I have liked for a very long time.
So they do have decent pieces. So that's why, again, I just think the coaching 2-14 with a decent.
Last year, AJ Green didn't play at all either.
That too, though.
And then Tyler Eifert, their tight end, has been perpetually injured as well. He's no longer with them anymore. But yeah, I mean, you get AJ Green back on the field. They spent the number 33 pick on T. Higgins, wide receiver. You got John Ross back there, who he killed it at the start of the season last year. I traded you for Lamar Jackson.
He is super on and off, literally a light switch, on, off, on, off. He will have great games.
Tyler Boyd as well.
Entire Boyd. Yeah, no, they have players.
They do. So hopefully Joe Burrow can get in there, get a little bit of time in that quarterback pocket and sling the ball around. I'm not sure if he's a runner or not.
I don't. I mean, he's young. That's a thing. It's like he's a young guy.
He can run.
He's skinny, so he could probably run a little bit, but I don't think that's what he relies on.
Yeah, it's the question of where is he between a Eli Manning and a Lamar Jackson. Because I think those are the two major extremes. Because, Eli Manning, he would run for 5 yards and then fumble the ball. That was his version of running.
God, That guy.
I'm not even going to talk about him.
Let's not talk about him.
Yeah. And then Lamar Jackson is, Lamar Jackson. So,
Yes, another
yeah,
level.
where does he fall? I feel like he's going to be somewhere in the middle right now. I just don't know enough about him. Yeah, no real tight ends of note on this team either. Like CJ Uzoma or something.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, who the hell is that? I don't care.
I've heard of him just from fantasy,
Yeah.
I think. But
So yeah, a little bit of news there. John Ross is finally back after his son had COVID.
oh wow, his son.
Yeah, his
He
son
must
got
be a little.
COVID.
I don't imagine his kid is that old. John Ross is not that old.
I want to say
Must
his
be like a
kid was like
toddler.
6 or 7. I want to say his kid was.
I now have to Google this. I just want to know John Ross's age now because he's not old. So he must have had a kid like 18, something younger. John Ross. He is 24.
Okay.
So he
I'm not
could
sure
have
how
6
old.
or 7. The kid would be like 16. Or he had like a kid at 16 years old, 17. Jeez. Whatever. Do you think, man? Whatever.
Yeah, I'm
You have
not
enough money
sure
to support him.
exactly. Huh?
I say he has enough money to support him. That's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. So, okay, he and his son had tested positive.
Wow. It's crazy. Okay.
So, yeah. Doesn't say how old the kid is. Doesn't really matter, but he has a kid. He got the vid.
Got the vid.
So, yeah. That's the Bengals. We'll move on from them because they are the Bengals.
They are the Bengals.
Moving up from there, and this was kind of a debated, topic between us, I guess, and you guys can go ahead and tell us what you feel in the comment section down below or to the side or wherever that is. Wherever that is, like, share, subscribe, comment, fight, do what you think. Fatality. Yeah, do all that stuff. But Pittsburgh or the Browns, who's the next worst team in the division? And I think after talking about it, because of the coaching and the ownership situation, the Browns are probably the next worst team in this division. Yeah, they got a ton of weapons.
That's what I'm saying. They have a ton of, again, just like kind of like the Bengals, a little bit, except the Browns have more weapons, I think. But
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, they have a lot of weapons. It's just a matter of putting it all together and making it run, right? You have all the parts to the car. Can you make the car run, though?
Yeah.
And that's been the issue. Like OBJ, he didn't do that much last year, did he? I think I drafted him.
OBJ was the number 25 overall wide receiver last year, so good enough to be a flex in the league that we had last year.
Yeah, which at the beginning of last year, you would have thought he would have been at least a receiver too.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, coming off what he did the year prior too, he was huge. Yeah. He was going to make huge.
I know, the trade was huge numbers. Why would you trade him?
Oh man, I hated that so much as a Giants fan. We didn't just sign him to a huge contract to trade him, and we traded him to the Browns. It's like, I don't know what Gettleman was doing and McAdoo was doing during that period. They just decided, let's screw the Giants for the next 5 years. Let's just do that, because for Christ's sake, man, they got rid of Landon Collins. They got rid of OBJ. They got rid of Damon Harrison. They got rid of so many players. I'm just waiting, okay, when are they going to get rid of, Saquon? When are they going to do this? Oh man, it was so infuriating to be a Giants fan during the Macadont time period.
But yes, so the Browns.
But the Browns, yes, back to the Browns and OBJ being a selfish son of a bitch, and but no, Browns didn't really have too many roster moves this year. They didn't really do too much. They did bring in Austin Hooper though.
Yeah, and he's
a nice upgrade at tight end.
Pretty solid tight end who's not that old yet, who has potential. I'm again jealous. I wish the Packers would have picked him up, but it's whatever. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
Everything's fine.
But yeah, I think he is a big boost there for that team. Especially when, their other tight end, he's not bad. David Njoku is not
It's not.
bad, but
He
he was a
had a lot
top
of
draft
catches.
pick that should be doing better.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you get drafted high, you're expected to do more.
Yep. Yep. But right now, as far as their team goes, you got Baker Mayfield, and then as their backup quarterback, they did just bring in Case Keenum. Now, let me ask you.
Oh,
Let me ask you. Is there a chance
don't even say it.
Baker Mayfield is taken out for Case Keenum this
No,
year?
absolutely not. No.
Okay, 0-10.
Okay, well, okay, maybe at 110. I mean, I think any team would do that at their 0-10, but
That is true, especially
the
with Case
Packers are
Keenum.
probably the Packers would bench Rodgers if we went 0-10 and put in Jordan Love, and then that would be the end of Rodgers.
Oh no, I think no. With Rodgers, he's one of those players that like, yeah, you're 0-10. Okay, there's a funk right now. We got to let you try and play through
I
it. You
know.
got to you got to overcome this on your own right now. That's what they would do with like a Rodgers, a Brady, anybody like that. I'm sorry, man. Baker Mayfield, he's a third year player at this point,
I know
man.
he's been very meh.
Yeah, third or fourth. So he can be good. He has the potential to do good,
He has some
but
highlights, but no, they're still relying on him quite heavily, so that's why I think they won't jump ship too quickly
yeah.
on Baker. But then again, it's the Browns,
Yep.
and they jump ship on coaches like it's nothing. And they do the same thing for quarterbacks, really too.
hmm
So
Like 20
I
years, they had 25 quarterbacks.
right. So I don't know what to say. It could happen.
It's the Browns,
It's the
man. They're
Browns, man.
until they win 10 games 2 seasons in a row, they're going to constantly be the Brown. Oh my God, is that a puppy back there?
She just came down. She's tired, taking a
Is
nap.
that your puppy or your cousin's?
My cousins,
Okay.
technically, it's her ex. It's Bryce's.
Okay.
Her ex-husband's, and he's
Okay.
out. He's in Ireland, so she's here.
Right on. Cool.
Yep, she's my work buddy.
Right on. I need a puppy. Getting back to the topic at hand. Okay, Baker Mayfield, he'll probably play all year long. I don't see them going 0-10. Their
No,
two running backs, really good running backs, man. Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. I like
those
them
are really,
both.
really good. I like Nick Chubb,
I
man.
would probably not draft Kareem Hunt just because of personal reasons, because I have an issue with the fact that he is still playing in the league after what he did.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that's my own personal reason. And once again, when I'm setting up my draft board, I'm going to put him on the never, ever, ever draft.
Never, ever,
So
ever.
just
But
like
no,
Antonio Brown should be.
Nick Chubb though. I love
Oh,
he
man, he was crazy good last year, man. He did awesome. He was the number 7th overall
in the year
running back
before.
last year.
In the year before that too. Who was their old running back? It was Carlos Hyde, I believe.
Yeah.
And so I still remember this distinctly. In a different fantasy football league, I had Carlos Hyde, and then he got hurt. And as soon as he got hurt, I was in my car and I looked. I just didn't even know at the time, like, who's the backup running back for the Browns? I'm looking. Nick Chubb. Okay, he was like the rookie, and
Yeah, he was a
I
top
picked him off
draft
free
pick,
agent.
too.
I picked him up in free agency immediately, and that was a steal, absolute steal. He
Yeah.
dominated for the rest of the year. The rest of the league was like, "How the hell did you get him so fast?" I'm like, it was just perfect timing. Literally, I was just sitting here on my phone, got the alert, picked him up in free agency immediately, like just boom, boom, done.
Yeah.
So that's sometimes how you have to do it in fantasy football. You have to, an injury? Who's the backup? Pick him up now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, sometimes you got to do that. Sometimes you got to just draft and, assume, like, we were talking about last week with the Falcons, do you get, if you draft Gurley, do you make sure you draft like Ito Smith or,
Uh-huh.
you know, the other dude behind him just to make sure, because I feel like certain players like that, it's only a matter of time before they're gone.
Yeah, no, that's 100% true. So,
yeah. As far as
besides
their
the
wide
Browns,
receivers go, though, for
yeah,
the Browns, OBJ, Jarvis Landry, and who the hell knows for their number 3, man?
still those top two should
They're
be more.
great.
Yeah, those are great top 1-2s.
You know, it's really funny too. Jarvis Landry is projected to be a higher than OBJ.
Was he better last year?
Last year, yes. Yes, he was, in fact.
There you go.
Last year, Jarvis Landry was the number 13 overall wide receiver, whereas OBJ was number 25.
13. That's not horrible.
No, that's a solid wide receiver, too.
Yeah, no, he's
On the
pretty
verge
decent.
of wide receiver 1. So
I don't know. That'd be a tough one. And it's like, who do you draft? Jarvis Landry.
yeah, Jarvis Landry or OBJ, who do you take? Set your draft boards.
Yep.
But as far as like other things go with the Browns, man, they worked out 4 kickers today. Like they have Austin Seibert still, but then they worked out 4 kickers today. Like,
Okay.
oh my God, who knows with the kicker situation for this team? So don't even think about drafting a kicker for them.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to draft a kicker from the Browns. I wouldn't want to really draft any players from the Browns because, again, they're the Browns and they're a shit show.
It's one of those teams that it's just like
a
you just
recurring shit show.
avoid.
Yeah, you can't predict what they're gonna do.
You see what they do after week 1 or week 2, and then you make a hard decision then.
Yeah. Yep. No, Browns players I usually try to avoid, except Nick Chubb.
Nick Chubb would probably be a good pickup. I feel bad for Aaron last year because he picked up OBJ. It was funny too because I was trying to trade him and everything for him. I want to say at one point I offered him. I want to say it was a trade for OBJ and Leonard Fournette. I was trying to get.
Oh wow.
For like DeAndre Hopkins and like Singletary or something like that. So, oh man, he would have cleaned up on that.
Right, he would have. Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's the Browns. They are also terrible.
Yep.
So, don't bank on any of the Ohio teams.
I was about to say
good.
that. Don't go with Ohio, man. Ohio, just no. Poopy.
No, absolutely not. But the third, or the number 2 team in this division, I guess, is the Pittsburgh Steelers, because obviously it's not the Ravens.
Yeah.
But the Pittsburgh Steelers, man, they're on track again this year to be hopefully what they were in years past. Hopefully, Big Ben is back this year.
Yep, they just need to heal up a little bit. They had a lot of injuries last year.
Feeling great.
I can't believe he's still going. I thought he was going to retire, but he's Big Ben. He's just one of those like just typical humongous quarterbacks that
somehow is immortal.
Yeah, he just doesn't break down
himself every year.
He does.
He doesn't break down, but he breaks.
No.
So
no, it's the Steelers again. They're it's hard to put them at number 3, which is why we put them at number 2, just because. Again, the coaching staff is just top notch. With Mike Tomlin there, they did whatever they possibly could last year with some really crappy quarterback play. But and I'm not even sure what their final record was, but it was still. I think they were still almost in the playoffs. They were like 1 game off, with no Big Ben and just some crappy backups.
Yeah. Let's see if I can figure out what they're. God damn, I should just go to the app. For some reason, the app just gives me stuff nice and easy, which is what it should be.
It is what it should be.
Yeah. Why can't I just Google things and I get information that I need and want, and there's the app. So, yeah, they're really hoping that Ben Roethlisberger is back this year and just does what he should be able to do. Yeah, they were 8-8 last year.
Yeah, they're 8-8. So with nothing, with a some really crappy quarterback play. They literally benched a backup and went to the third one, and then they kept flip flopping. They still went 8-8. That's what I'm saying. Like coaching has a lot to do with football. It really does. I think it's the most important sport out there where coaching plays the biggest part. Basketball, as long as you got LeBron James, you're going to win, right? I mean, that's just how it is.
I don't watch basketball, but I'll take your word for it.
If you just have the star player, you don't need much coaching. You just let them run and do what they need to do, what they do best. Football, you need strategy, and it's all about coaching. It really is. So the Steelers, their defense, I think they must have been pretty solid last year. If their offense was kind of mediocre, I'm not sure exactly what the stats were, and I think didn't the running back get hurt too at some point? I'm not sure, but
yeah, James Conner did get hurt last year.
They had a lot of injuries.
Yeah, they did, and but here's the thing: they got a lot of players that will make up for those injuries. James Conner, he goes down. They got Jalen Samuels.
Yep.
Decent running back behind him. They also have Benny Snell, who is a good backup behind him. And then they drafted Anthony McFarland with the 124th pick this year. So they got some solid running backs going on there. Yep. And then as far as the tight end scene goes, man, they brought in Eric Ebron this year,
who's
plus
very solid.
Yeah, plus my favorite player, giving us the Vance dance. Vance McDonald, man.
Yeah.
Love that guy. But I mean, yeah, they definitely suffered. The Steelers as a whole suffered last year because, they expected Juju Smith-Schuster to be better than what he was and what he did. So they expected him to fill in for Antonio Brown. And unfortunately, they did not get that from him.
Maybe that's the thing, though. Maybe there'll be a whole different Juju this year with Big Ben back at the helm.
Maybe.
So that's another thing to keep in mind, right? It's like, all right, so Juju might be ranked low on the draft boards, but who is our quarterback? Oh, it's a future Hall of Famer now, as opposed to, I don't even remember who they were. Who was the guy that got punched in the face? I can't remember the backup quarterback. But
for the Pittsburgh Steelers, was it Mason Rudolph?
Yeah, it was Mason Rudolph. He took his helmet off. Oh, with the Jadeveon Clowney? No, the Browns defensive end.
Myles Garrett.
It was Myles Garrett and Mason Rudolph.
Yeah.
That was funny.
Cheering for my dude, Garrett.
Yeah. But so yeah, it'll be interesting now that you see that there's a future Hall of Famer at Big Ben back at quarterback to see if Juju has better numbers than last year, which I would predict if that's the case, if Big Ben's healthy all year, I would say yes.
Yep. So that's the Steelers. Nothing else to really note with them. They, or I guess we didn't really talk about the wide receivers besides Juju. They also got James Washington, and then with the 49th overall pick, they have Chase Claypool. Mm-hmm. So who knows how they're all going to stack up when it is all said and done. But let me tell you, none of them are ranked well. In fact, I want to say this is the only team without a wide receiver in the top 45.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I can't say top 50 because Juju's at 49 right now. But I mean, yeah, the top 45, man, you don't have a single receiver that's poised to be in the top 45. And, truth be told, last year you didn't have anybody that was in the top 50 at all.
Yep. No, the Steelers, I mean, they were more of a running team, and they are more of a running team now with James Conner. He's a workload of a running back, but it's hard. I don't know. With Big Ben, they're going to be more of a 50-50 team, or at least 60-40 running. But so again, I think the rankings are a little off. I think Juju will be a little better than 49, like you were talking about before. But that's why you got to set your draft board so you don't lose them.
Yeah. And that brings us to our number one team in this division, the Ravens. No reason in really going too terribly deep and in depth in them. Didn't really do too much as far as, bringing people in this year, letting people go this year. They're bringing in a lot of the same team. Obviously Lamar Jackson, just the king of this team right now, Madden
King of
cover
the
man.
NFL. I mean,
Yep.
he is the MVP, right? No.
Yeah, he was the MVP, but probably would not have been if Mahomes was healthy all year. Just want to throw that out there. But no, Lamar Jackson did stellar last year, man. He was killer, man. Thank you. Thank you for giving him to me for nothing. Literally peanuts. I threw peanuts at you.
How did that turn out?
I didn't make it the playoffs. But that's just because I had like terrible running backs, man. You look at my top running back, and he was like a top 30 guy. It's just like, this is terrible.
I drafted really well. I just traded everyone away. I just wanted to make it challenging because this was too easy.
I want my Packers, man. You went hard over mine.
I get
that.
I do. Well, you know what? It worked out. It all worked out.
It worked out in the end. That's all that matters. Behind Lamar Jackson, as far as the running backs go, you got Mark Ingram.
The running backs go. You mean quarterback?
Yeah. As far as running backs, you got Lamar Jackson. Back. And then I guess every once in a while he'll fumble the ball and give it to Mark Ingram.
Yeah. Essentially.
But yeah, you got Mark Ingram, Gus Edwards, and then they picked up J.K. Dobbins in the draft this year at number 55. Killer tight end for them, Mark Andrews.
Mm-hmm.
He did amazing last year, one of the top tight ends this year. They also have Jarrell Adams, which I want to say he's an ex-Giant or something. I forget where he all came from, but they just brought him in this year. And then another dude named Eli Wolf.
Okay.
Yeah, it was just a cool name.
Yeah, I like it. Wolf.
And then their wide receivers, a little lacking on the wide receiver front. Marquise Brown and Willie Snead are your top two guys.
He had some flashes last year.
Yeah.
I think he got hurt though, which hampered him for a while. But I know like the first game, I think he had a couple touchdowns. He just burned the defense like nothing. I mean, he is related to Antonio Brown, so he's like a cousin or something. Not a brother.
He did not play, fully did not play 2 games last year, but then there was 2 games towards the end of the season where he only had 1 catch for no yards, 1 catch for -2 yards, and then another game where he had 1 catch for 6 yards.
Yeah.
So did not have a good finish of the season.
No, he did not. Was he ranked?
Last year, Marquise Brown was.
I was mean this year, but
I'll get to that. Last year he was number 42. This year he's ranked to be number 40.
Okay.
So
I personally think he'll be better than 40. But again, I'm just giving all my draft secrets to you guys now. Because I need a challenge this year.
Yep. Apparently so. So yeah, those are our team breakdowns, and really quick, just a little bit of extra news here. The NFL had just announced that they are no longer allowing, I want to say for the foreseeable future, no cheerleaders to be on the side of the field. No mascots to be on the side of the field. And no reporters are no longer allowed on the side of the field.
The Packers don't have cheerleaders, so
nor do the Giants. So
we used we had high school cheerleaders, a local Green Bay high school cheerleaders would come over and
I'm sure they would do stuff like that.
It's tradition.
Helps, get local eyes on schools and stuff like that too. Yeah. Now the Giants don't have any cheerleaders. They've never had cheerleaders, and by all accounts, they don't want cheerleaders. So there are several teams out there like that. But what can you do?
But The mascots,
Sure,
though.
all your Cowboy fans will be sad.
The mascots, man, they're wearing the suits already. So they already have a face covering. They have a whole freaking body covering. So
They got a
I
mask
disagree
on.
with that. They should let the mascots be on the field. Only things on the field, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Because they
We'll
have
see
the
what
best.
happens. So, projections this year. What everybody loves, I'm sure. Quarterbacks. Number one quarterback last year, number one quarterback this year, Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, that's a no-brainer.
Yep.
I can't
Who's
even
next
argue.
after him, though?
For quarterbacks,
Yeah.
just in the NFL.
No, in this division.
Oh, okay. I guess it would be Baker Mayfield,
They are projecting Baker to be number two among
and then
quarterbacks
Ben,
in this division.
and then Big Ben, and then Joe Burrow. Or what? What?
They're saying so. Lamar Jackson number one, Baker Mayfield number 12, Joe Burrow number 22, Ben Roethlisberger number 27.
I disagree.
So
But my opinion doesn't count.
that's what they tell me. That your opinion doesn't count.
Whatever. Okay, move on.
Running backs. Who is the top running back in this division?
Kana.
No.
Nick Chubb.
No.
Bengals, Browns.
Joe Mixon.
No.
Joe Mixon, they are
shit.
saying, is going to be the number 9 overall running back this year and the top running back of this division, followed by Nick Chubb. So Nick Chubb at 14, James Conner at 16, Mark Ingram at 24, and then Kareem Hunt at 29, Giovanni Bernard at 54. I'm sorry, I missed somebody. Jalen Samuels at 27. Then Kareem Hunt at 29, Gio Bernard at 54, Justice Hill from Baltimore at 63, Gus Edwards from Baltimore at 65, J.K. Dobbins from Baltimore at 73. So it's just a stream of Baltimore guys there. And then, so
Okay.
definitely an interesting run there. It's funny to me that like Mark Ingram projecting to be the 24th last year, he was number 10. So yeah, Nick Chubb was number 7 last year. Joe Mixon was number 12. James Conner was 31. So yeah,
I don't know. That's okay. Joe Mixon is good though. He is good.
he can be.
Yeah.
He can be. Wide receivers. So top wide receiver is projected to be the 21st overall receiver, like in the entire NFL. So who is that top wide receiver for this division ranked at number 21 overall?
Jarvis Landry.
Nope. AJ Green.
Okay.
Yeah. AJ Green, even though he did not play last year and he seems to have, perpetual below the shin injuries.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're still projecting him to be number 21, but this is a weak division as far as wide receivers go. Tyler Boyd is supposed to be number 24, followed then by Jarvis Landry at 25 and OBJ at 33. And then they have Deontay Johnson from the Steelers projected to be number 38. So I take back what I said before. I guess they did have a Steeler that is projected to be in the top 45. But seriously, who the hell is Deontay Johnson, and why the hell is he projected above Juju Smith-Schuster?
I don't know.
Followed then by Marquise Brown at 40. Juju at 49, T. Higgins at 64, James Washington at 76. Yeah, and then it just goes downhill from there. Willie Snead's at 85. So it's like, wow, this is a really bad division as far as wide receivers go.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's crazy. And some of these rankings are wild, man. Wild.
Some of them are, but apparently, they have an algorithm. People much smarter than you or I
Yep.
come up with these numbers. So we'll see what happens. Top tight end in this division, Mr. Mark Andrews.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yep. At number 5 overall, last year he was number 4 ranked. Austin Hooper is the next guy at number 11. Last year he was number 6.
Okay.
So, yeah, a hell of an upgrade there, considering Austin Hooper was number 6 last year and David Njoku was number 74 last year, as far as tight ends go. So, yeah, upgrade. Eric Ebron is number 14. CJ Uzoma, whatever the hell his name is 31. And Njoku is 32. Give him a Van Stance at 37.
Van Stance.
And then Nick Boyle, whoever the hell that is, 38. So I don't think anybody will be drafting Nick Boyle this year.
I don't
So,
think
yeah. Top kicker. We've been touting him all these past couple weeks, man. Justin Tucker.
Yeah, obviously. JT. Justin Timberlake or Justin Tucker.
Justin Tucker, he's actually projected to be number 9 this year, which I find funny because he's perpetually in the top 3. But yeah, projected to be number 9.
That's actually kind of wild.
Yeah, there's one kicker in this division who is projected to be above him. And that is the Cincinnati kicker, Randy Bullock, at number 4. Again, I don't know if I would ever take a Cincinnati Bengals player.
I don't know what to say to that. Yeah, I would not do that, but okay.
Yep. And then whoever the Cleveland kicker will be, as of right now, Austin Seibert is projected to be number 12, yet they're working out a ton of other kickers for some reason. Don't know why, but hey, that's what they do. And then Chris Bosworth is projected to be number 17. So now the defenses. Mm-hmm. Who's the top defense? Tony. Who's the top defense in this division?
The Ravens, probably.
No.
Really?
Projections wise.
Then the Browns.
No.
The Steelers?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know why the Steelers, man. I guess they're really saying that Watt and Mika Fitzpatrick are just that good that they're going to make that huge of a difference to their defense. But yeah, number 1 ranked defense.
Number 1.
Number 1.
Wow.
Yeah. Baltimore is number 3.
So they are back to being black and blue and defensive.
Yeah, but then you know where the next one is? Cleveland at 17.
Yeah. And
then Cincinnati at 24, which I don't buy that with Cincinnati. They're going to be way worse because they were number 32 last year.
They probably will be 32 again.
32, 31, something like that. It was ridiculous. So they were number 30 last year. They scored 67 total points on defense. 67.
That's wow. Wow, that's it's not good.
a game, 3 points a game average, something like that.
Yeah, it's dreadful.
Yeah. That's pathetic, man. I think I could score more points than that. But man, that's neither here nor there. That's for a different Garrett to discuss.
Right.
But yeah, so that is our AFC North preview. We got one left. NFC North coming at you next week.
Woo! Go Pack,
And
go.
then, oh man, after that, I might have to do it on my own because you might be out of town during it, but I might have to do a draft preview. Because 2 Fridays from now is the Friday before Labor Day, Friday before the draft, and you are going camping. So I don't know. Maybe I'll bring in a special guest. Maybe I'll bring in Laura or something. See if Laura wants to.
You could, yeah.
Yeah, talk shit with me about everybody.
There you go.
So yeah, but that was our fantasy ramble for this week, and we're at 55 minutes right now. So cutting it down a little bit. Don't want to hold you guys up here too much longer because yeah, this is a very uninspired division, man. Not terribly much to talk about with them. I think most of our discussion came from like the earlier stuff and just trying to, hey everybody, draft stuff. Set your draft board.
Set your draft board.
Set your draft board. So yeah, that was our ramble for this week. I'm just kind of trailing off right now, so I think we should just end it probably because I don't have much else to talk about. Draft is in 17 days from now. We're getting down to it, man. Preseason football would be going on right now. It is not going on right now. Makes me a very sad panda. But we're gonna see what happens. Keeping tuned. Look at
keeping
yeah.
on.
If you guys are still here, go and hit up the poll that I put on the website. Let me know what you guys think as far as draft time and stuff like that. Also, if you guys have any sort of suggestions, let me know. We'll discuss everything, man. I'm definitely not one of those people that's gonna be like, nope, this is how it is. This is the way it's going to be.
Sure.
Every year we have tweaked, we have changed, we have done something. Last year was the first time we went to a PPR league.
Mm-hmm.
So this year, do we look at IDPs, and individual defensive players potentially? Do we look at up in the points for scoring? Or lowering that? Did people not like that? So let me know what you guys think. Be active, be communicative, I guess. Otherwise,
yeah.
I am going to find you and I'll communicate with my, boot upside your head, I guess. I don't know. We'll go with that because right now it's empty threats. I can't go anywhere because I'm on quarantine.
There we are.
So, yeah. That was this week's ramble for the AFC North. Next week, coming at you, the NFC North. So, yeah, keep in tune for that. As always, for my hostess there, Mr. Tony S. Burgess, the S stands for?
Set your freaking draft board.
Set your freaking draft boards. My name is Mr. Garrett M. La Laguna. The M stands for meticulously set your draft boards. Really get in there, fine tune it, man. Figure out what you want, what you like, what you need, that sort of stuff. Make sure you're not drafting 17 kickers. It's not physically possible, but I mean, make sure you're not doing that.
Wouldn't that be something?
Oh, man, yeah. Yeah, just an auto draft thing where everybody gets like kickers and defenses in the second and third round.
Nope, I'll just retire there. Not playing that.
We're gonna delete this season. We're gonna redo this. So, all right, but yeah, that's it. So yeah, we'll call it here. Have a good rest of your day, guys. Have a good weekend. Keep doing what you're doing, and may the best me win.